Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, I want to first start out acknowledging that I stood corrected. Rodrigo Paz Piera has been elected the next president of Bolivia, and despite me predicting that Jorge Quiroga would have become the next president. We will evaluate what went wrong with my prediction, but simply put it, I predicted Quiroga would have won basically for his populist leniencies. I predicted that left-wing and right-wing populists would come together in a collusion against more of the establishment, as that's sort of how politics is ran in international elections. And at the time, polls did back that up. But apparently, Rodrigo Paz Piera managed to get enough to get over 4%, over 50% of the popular vote. And we will explain what went wrong in a minute. But first, I want to see what went wrong with the current polls. This is the second round. So yes, it was indeed an upset. My prediction was legitimate, but it wasn't true. It was false, and I'm guessing that this took a lot of Bolivians by surprise. After all, Quiroga comes from the Libre Party. After all, has been leading throughout the whole entire thing. He's also a populist, and ultimately, usually, you go farther to the right after a government in turmoil. If the left is responsible for it, you usually go to the right, as that's where popular opinion would go, vice versa also. So it's a bit surprising, but let's go ahead and look at these results. So you'll see, obviously, Paz has most of his areas over here. This is where his base is located, near Peru. And like, for instance, we did see that coming with the first round results, technically. Yeah, we saw Paz have most of his area over here. But what ended up happening, well, it was a bit of a flip here. You'll see that Quiroga ended up winning. I don't know, it's northern Bolivia. I don't know what it's called. But I don't know my Bolivian provinces, so pardon me. This northern province originally went to Quiroga. That ended up flipping second time around. Quiroga managed to pick up this province that backed Doria Medina, who comes from the Unidad party. He was eliminated. So it's going and backing him there. You also have Doria Medina winning the southern province in Bolivia. That's carried by Quiroga. So Quiroga carrying only 3 provinces. You'll see this province specifically, I want to believe he carried by over 60%. You'll see in these provinces, however, were competitive. He won them by like 50, below 55%. So yeah, Paz and Quiroga were having a big battle in these provinces, as well as these provinces up here, this province and this province. But ultimately, I do think that Paz enjoyed popularity in more of the urban areas. So apparently, you could make an argument that the socialists aren't as populist as they are. They are populist. There's no denying that. But I would say that Evo Morales, who was overthrown, well, not overthrown, but ousted democratically and banned from running, he was sent into exile. He had an impact in this election. Now, honestly, he hates both candidates. They're both right-wingers in his mind. But he made it clear that if Quiroga would win, then he's going to revolt. So maybe out of fear of popular revolt against a Quiroga victory, they were probably appeasing Evo Morales by voting for Paz. They probably weren't just voting for Paz, they were just probably voting against Quiroga. Regardless if you like it or not, Evo Morales had a huge, significant impact in this election in particular. You can clearly see even the polls were obviously, like we saw just now, the second round, they were predicting a Quiroga victory. But you got this kind of Evo Morales who was overthrown. He was like recognized as the founding father of this new government of Bolivia, that which took place in 2009. He ended up taking he was overthrown. He was barred from running in the 2020 election, which resulted to disputes. This led to Luis Arce, I want to believe, dropping out, then again wiping out the whole Movimento Socialissimo ticket altogether, and it results to, of course, a conservative battleground. So it's kind of going to be weird to see that Bolivia, which has long been a socialist-like country, being ruled by a center-right country, center-right political party, although it historically used to be revolutionary socialist, so that could be a reason. A lot of those former socialists are like, okay, a lot of this, but they're not revolutionary socialists anymore. That's the point. That's like saying that the Republican Party of the GOP supports, trying to find a better one. Yeah, they support, of course, this woke movement because they were very woke, and in the 19th century, they supported reparations. That's a better example. They supported reparations specifically in the 19th century, and now they're very opposed to reparations. So that's not really the same thing. But ultimately, yeah, it was quite a surprise in a way, and I'm sure Bolivians are more surprised because Quiroga had momentum. He was the candidate of change. Honestly, a lot of those Bolivians wanted a taste of right-wing populism. Although they did get a right-wing leader, they were going to get a right-wing leader, it was not the one that they were hoping for, and majority of them voted for Rodrigo Paz Piera, or Paz in other words, by a significant margin. Now, I'm trying to see if we have any results for the second round. I intend to do a second round video, a video observing the second round, see if there's and there will be a map. I don't know, this map was released on the 20th, 3 days after this election, so you might see a video on the at-large results. I've made it clear that I intend to do more of those at-large races because it gives us a grasp to see how other countries conduct their elections. Even though a lot of people may think, oh, well, is it really irrelevant to the channel? I do think it's important to learn about the other countries and to understand how we have it good here in America, where, American citizens that live here get to vote in our elections, not people around the world they're not affected by our laws. But maybe they're affected on our foreign policy, but that's not the same thing. But yeah, I would say I'm not so disappointed. I was a little bummed because I was hoping to see good relations soar with Bolivia in the U.S. after being strained for so long under Quiroga. But and he was the former president. That's the other thing. He was the former president. He was 2002 to 2000. Yeah, he was in there for like a year. I think he succeeded the president. And then again, he might be the guy that was overthrown. I don't know. Was he overthrown? 2009, Evo Morales. In 2009, Evo Morales was president before. Okay, so yeah, something happened. Oh yeah, yes, you'll see here. Quiroga was defeated by Evo Morales. So that was another thing. Quiroga is the opponent of Evo Morales. That's his main, what he's known for. Evo Morales has been recognized as the ouster of Jorge Quiroga, the guy that ended Quiroga and more of a right-wing government. And ultimately, as a result, and you have the Bolivian gas war. Okay, yeah, this is, of course, because this is what led to the overthrow of a socialist government. This was 2003 and 2006. Yeah, I mean, the president resigned, Quiroga got in, and then in 2004, you'll see Evo Morales won. And you'll see his popularity, or his party's popularity, remain until the 2020s. Now, for the very first time, center-right, or the right, is back in power. And it's going to be kind of interesting, because the reason why they were overthrown was because of the economic and quality of living in Bolivia. Now, I would assume this has gotten a little bit better for the Bolivians, I'm hoping. Are you guys better? But let's be honest, a lot of them did not like their government. A lot of them did not like the lack of freedom of speech they were getting from this government. And ultimately, this government was very hostile to the United States. So now we have a democratic regime change, which is good. We have the new president, Rodrigo Paz Piera. I hope he will meet with President Trump. I hope they will form a good connection. There is going to be the challenge of, we have to deport illegal aliens. Those Latin American countries are not a fan of it, because they were, taken back. A lot of them are criminals, taking back the criminals, and they're not a fan of that. But hey, it's your people, and you gotta be held accountable. And I'm hoping Piera will be a president that will work with us and President Trump, and we can have a good friendship, and we can become strategic allies and partners again. So anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below, and as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.